Hey there! With summer fast approaching, it's time to start planning out some of our adventures and getting those travel bookings in place. But unfortunately, as prices seem to be skyrocketing, it's getting more and more difficult to fulfill some of our travel dreams. Luckily though, there is a way to offset some of these costs and make our travels a little bit more affordable. That of course is by taking full advantage of miles and points. In this video, we're going to talk about the best cards to acquire points, what cards you should use to book travel, and some of the best cards to use while you're on vacation. With that, let's jump right in. To begin, let's talk about some of the best cards for acquiring points, especially with the new summer bonuses that came out. Among the options, one that stands out to us is the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite. This is CIBC's Aeroplan offering and offers 50,000 Aeroplan points worth about $1,000 as a welcome bonus. You earn 10,000 points upon making your first purchase with the card, and the rest 40,000 are earned when you spend $1,000 on the card within the first 4 months. Now this is one of the easiest bonuses to hit, as it's really easy to spend $250 a month for 4 months on this card. Aeroplan is one of the easiest loyalty programs to use as well for Canadians just because there's so many Star Alliance partners and you can get pretty much anywhere in the world just on Aeroplan points. Speaking of which, those 50,000 Aeroplan points you earn should be more than enough for a round trip in economy anywhere in North America, or perhaps even in business class if dynamic pricing is being kind. It should also be enough for one way in economy to either Europe or Asia, as long as you stay within the second distance band on the award chart, which shouldn't really be too challenging. Now, while getting a card for its bonus is great, there's a few additional perks with this card that really make it an underrated addition to your wallet. The first of which is free bags for you and 8 other travel companions if you're flying on the same itinerary. Now, this can save you $60 for a round trip if you fly alone, and that's multiplied by as many people as you traveled with. Second, it's preferred pricing. We've broken this down in other videos, but it's basically a 5 to 15% discount on bookings made with Aeroplan points on aircanada.com. This can save you anywhere from $50 to $150 on a flight, and it's only available if you're flying with Air Canada, not on any of their partners, but it still can save you a good bit and offsets the annual fee pretty quickly. Lastly, there is also insurance on award bookings with this card. We'll talk about that a little bit more in our next section. Now, there is an annual fee of $139 for this card, but it is waived for the first year, as well as for any subsequent years when you have a CIBC Smart Plus checking account. Now, you can also just try this card out for a year with that first year free, and maybe product switch your different card or cancel it outright if you don't see the perks really being worth it, but we think the annual fee is low enough where you can really make good use of some of the perks. Sticking with the Aeroplan program for now, if you want some more points in one go, and you're able to hit those higher minimum spends, 2 Aeroplan premium cards have very strong welcome offers for the summer. The first of which is the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege card, which is offering 115,000 points as a welcome bonus. You get 20,000 points upon making your first purchase, 60,000 points when you spend $7,500 in the first 180 days, as well as the last 35,000 points when you spend $12,000 on the card in the first year and then renew it for the second year. So doing this, you will have to pay the annual fee twice on the card, but maybe some of the perks we talk about in the next section might be worth it for you. Now, those 80,000 points you earn on the card in the first year should really be enough to fly one way in business class anywhere to Europe or Asia, as long as you stay within the first 2 distance bands. Now, in addition to all the perks you get with those core tier cards, there are a few perks that you get with these premium tier Aeroplan cards that may make it worth it for you. The first of which is unlimited Maple Leaf Lounge access anywhere in Canada. With this card in particular, you also get 6 passes to lounges part of the Visa Airport Companion program, which should be pretty nice to relax when you don't really have a Maple Leaf Lounge available. In addition to that, you get some of these Air Canada specific perks, like priority check-in, priority security, priority baggage handling, and you also get Zone 1 boarding, which can be nice when you want to get some room for your carry-on and you're not flying in business class. Now, upon spending $25,000 on this card every year, you do get an annual companion voucher where the second ticket only pays $99, plus any surcharges and taxes and fees, so you can pretty much get a good $400 or $500 of value out of this if you're flying in economy. There's also a Nexus credit worth $100 extended every 4 years, but you probably have this with many of your other cards. Now, the card has an annual fee of $599, and to get the full bonus that we talked about, you will have to pay it twice, so you have to really see if these perks are worth it for you, or maybe you have some other cards that have some of these perks and you don't really feel the need to pay an extra $350 or $400 to get some of these additional perks. There is also a minimum income requirement of $150,000 of personal income or $200,000 of household income, so you do need to keep that in mind as well. Now, if you already received the bonus for the Visa Infinite Privilege card or don't meet the income requirement, there is another card that's really similar. That, of course, is the American Express Aeroplan Reserve. This card is currently offering a bonus of 115,000 Aeroplan points or 120,000 points if you have a referral link. You get 45,000 points after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months, as well as 7,500 Aeroplan points for every month you spend $2,000 on the card within the first 6 months. The final 25,000 points are given when you make a purchase in months 14 or 17, so you do need to renew this card for another year, as you did with the Visa Infinite Privilege card. Now, the Airplane Reserve has almost all the same perks as its TD counterpart, except it doesn't have those 6 passes to non-Maple Leaf lounges, but we don't really believe this is that big of a loss. There is still that $599 annual fee that you need to pay 2 times to get the full bonus, so you really need to see if those few additional perks are worth the massive annual fee increase versus just getting a core tier card. Moving on to the non-Airplane side of things, we have also picked out a few cards with good summer bonuses that may be worth adding to your wallet. The first card we're going to talk about here is the American Express Marriott Bonvoy. This is by far the best hotel co-branded card in Canada, which doesn't really say too much considering we only have a couple, but it does have one of the best bonuses of any card right now. It offers 75,000 Marriott points as a bonus, with 65,000 coming when you spend $3,000 within the first 3 months of having the card, and 10,000 points when you renew the card for the second year. You'll definitely want to renew this card for the second year because it does come with a free night certificate worth 35,000 points or $350, which makes it an easy thing to renew every single year as long as you stay on a Marriott hotel, which is pretty simple considering they have one of the largest footprints of any hotel program. So what can you get for those 65,000 Bonvoy points you're going to be able to get in the first year? 65,000 points should be more than enough for a 2 to 3 night stay at any premium tier property, provided you book far enough in advance, or 1 baller night at any luxury property, again, provided you book far enough in advance and you find some space. That could be like a Ritz-Carlton or maybe a St. Regis, and sometimes there are these point saver offers that you can get things like the St. Regis for heavily discounted rates, sometimes even cheaper than what you'd be able to get for a premium tier property, so be sure to look out for those on the Bonvoy award calendar. Now this card has an annual fee of $120, and if you're interested in learning some more, we have a full video coming out in the next couple of weeks. We're going to dive deep into this card and some of the other perks and benefits it offers at its very, very modest annual fee. Now the next card is a little bit different. It doesn't have a massive bonus, but instead has by far the best earn rates in all of Canada, so you can earn your way to some award travel. This, of course, is the American Express Cobalt card. This card earns 5x on dining, food delivery, and grocery, as well as 3x on streaming subscriptions, as well as 2x on travel and transit, meaning you can easily use this card as your daily and get yourself 1 business class trip to pretty much anywhere in Europe or Asia every single year. There is also a 2,500 MR point bonus for every month you spend $500 on the card within the first year, which is a nice 30,000 MR points to add to your roster. Now there's a $12.99 monthly fee with this card, which equates to about $156 a year, and we feel this is a bargain for all the perks. If you want to learn more about this card, we do have a full video which we'll link in the description below. Now before I get to our honorable mention, you're probably asking, Alion, how have you missed some of the cards like the Amex Gold and Platinum that have massive bonuses? This is because Amex cards are once in a lifetime, and the current bonuses offered on these cards either take the entire year to complete, as you need to spend like $1,000 or $2,000 every month, or they're nowhere near the all-time high. As an example, just last year, the American Express Platinum card was offering 120,000 MR points with a much easier bonus to hit than the current bonus of 90,000 MR, which we don't think is super attractive. Unless you really have a need for the points, we would suggest just waiting till next year when there's a better bonus, as you won't be able to get the bonus ever again. Our honorable mention for this category is the RBC British Airways Visa Infinite. Now, as the other Avion cards had their bonuses slashed earlier this month, it made this card a much more attractive option for those who want to fly on one-world carriers, like British Airways, Qatar, or Japan Airlines. Now until July 12th, this card is offering a welcome bonus worth 60,000 Avios, or $1,200. It's broken into 3 different categories: 15,000 upon making your first purchase with the card, 35,000 when you spend $6,000 on the card within the first 3 months, and the final 10,000 after you renew the card. Now 50,000 Avios should be enough for any economy class round trip, pretty much on any route you can find, even during peak times, provided you can find that award space. There are a few other perks with this card that make it a valuable addition to your wallet. The first of which is an annual round-trip companion voucher when you spend $30,000 on the card, as well as 10% off any flight operated by British Airways, which is good for those who cross the pond quite a bit. Now that you've accrued enough points to book your travels, let's actually see what card you should book your travels with, as there's definitely substantial benefits to choosing the right card. First off, if you're booking with cash instead of with points, you really can't go wrong with most travel cards. If your card has an annual fee of $120 or more, you're more than likely covered for most of the things in case something goes awry. In fact, even most cashback World Elite or Visa Infinite cards have pretty good insurance coverage at this point. Now as a general guideline, the more premium Visa Infinite privilege cards, or maybe some of the cards like the Amex Platinum or the Airplane Reserve, have slightly more comprehensive insurance suites. For example, they'd offer like $1,000 for flight delay insurance as opposed to $500 on a Visa Infinite card, so you just really need to see if the extra insurance is really worth it for the extra annual fee you pay. Now, we have said that, you're probably covered, but you definitely should check your card's insurance certificate that you've gotten in the welcome package or just online, because these things do change quite a bit, and you want to make sure you're covered for any travel you do. Now when booking with points, you have to be a lot more careful with what card you actually use. Again, as a general guideline, if a card you're booking with has a loyalty program whose points you're using, for example, if you're booking with RBC Avion points directly through their portal, you're probably going to be covered as long as you pay the taxes and fees with your RBC Avion. This also extends to co-branded cards like the WestJet World Elite MasterCard, or some of the Aeroplan co-branded cards that have travel insurance, where you should pay the taxes and fees with that card in order to be covered in almost every single case. Now, if you want to keep it really simple and just get a card that covers all award travel, currently the National Bank World Elite MasterCard covers any award travel provided you pay the taxes and fees with that card. Now that you've booked that trip you always wanted to go on, and you're getting ready to leave, it's important to think about what card you're going to use while you're on vacation. If you're staying within Canada, this is pretty simple. Just use the card that you're currently using because you're not really going to be charged any additional fees when you're on vacation. Now, if you're getting past Canada's borders, it's important to now start to think about what cards you should use and optimize for the best strategy. You should look at two things here. The first is acceptance. Visa and MasterCards are going to have much higher acceptance on most places around the globe. Even though your American Express is really shiny and might work in places like London at big box stores, you probably won't be able to use it, in the middle of the desert in, let's say, somewhere like Montenegro. I don't know if Montenegro has a desert. The next thing you should look for is no foreign transaction fees or cashback made with foreign currency, which is going to be offered on something like the Rogers World Elite MasterCard. There's also some no annual fee options here that may be worth considering. The Brim World MasterCard has no annual fee and also has no foreign transaction fee, so if you don't really want to pay an annual fee for a card you're going to use to travel with, this is probably the one. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe if you want more content like this. We hope we really helped you out in making your travel a little bit more affordable, and maybe we taught you something you didn't really know before. So go ahead, start planning for that dream vacation, and let us know how it goes in the comments below. Until next time.